I see some people, they get scared and they suddenly say yes to everything, and they're afraid they might lose their job, and they start trying to do every task and do every little thing. And yet they hate half of those things, and they're no good at half of those things. They're actually doing themselves a disservice, because they should be doing the things they're really good at to show the organization that they are special for these reasons, right? These certain things that they're very good at.
Welcome to another episode of the peopleHum interview series. I'm your host Akanksha Kulkarni, and let's begin with a quick introduction of peopleHum. peopleHum is an end-to-end, one-view integrated human capital management automation platform, the winner of the 2019 Global Cody Award that's specifically built for crafted employee experience and the future of work. We run the peopleHum blog and video channel, which receives upwards of 200,000 visitors a year and publish around 2 interviews with well-known names globally every month. And now for our guest. Dyer is an expert at driving workplace performance through company culture. He has been featured by leading media outlets such as the BBC, NBC, and the Forbes. He is also a frequent leadership speaker at conferences all over the globe and was recently named at Inc.'s list of 10 leadership speakers that can help transform your company culture. Chris is the author of the best-selling book, The Power of Company Culture, which was released in 2018. He is also the founder and CEO of peopleG2, a passionate talent management enthusiast. Chris is the host of Talent Talk, a business podcast with 3.65 million downloads. Welcome, Chris. We are thrilled to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great. So, Chris, I gave your introduction, and you have done so many things. So can you just tell us a little bit about your journey about it, and also about your book, The Power of Company Culture?
Well, my journey is sort of an accident. I mean, we needed something good to talk to our clients about. And, our product is either simple enough that they understand it, or scary enough that they don't really want to talk about it all the time. So we said, what else can we talk about to engage our clients, engage people that maybe would become our clients? And this idea of culture and engagement and sharing the things that we were doing in our company to be successful became very popular. And so I started speaking to little groups of maybe 6 or 7 people at a luncheon. And that grew to 12 people, and that grew to 30 people, and that grew to 100 people. And so I kept just ending up with these bigger and bigger audiences. And again, it was just sort of an accident. And through this journey, I decided, well, let's do a podcast. And I'm talking to people, sort of getting exposed to new ideas and new stories. And the podcast got so popular that a publisher came to me and said, hey, do you want to write a book? And I said, do you know that I don't know how to write? And they said, don't worry, you'll figure it out. And so I went, okay. And I wrote a book. And so it was just sort of like been an accident all along the way of I say an accident because I didn't intend for it to happen. But of course, we were consciously working on trying to give good content, trying to tell good stories, and to make sure that we shared the best ideas and the best, I guess, sort of new thinking, and people really resonated with that. So the book is a culmination of stories. First of all, my own story of my company and how we radically changed the company and what that did for us. And then some really great stories from some of the best guests that we've had on the show, people from Southwest Airlines and General Motors, as well as stories from great thought leaders like Marshall Goldsmith, and Mark Goldson. And so these sort of people really help us create a story where my book is almost meant for you to be able to pick it up. And if there's a particular area that you're focused on, you're worried about in your company, you could go to that chapter and read that chapter and go get the help you need. I want you to read the whole book, but you don't have to read the whole book. You could go in and read that one chapter and then get help with that thing. So anyways, that's me, and that's the book.
That's great. So you have been the accidental executive for people as such. And I guess that has been really wonderful since you have your book out there. And I'm really happy that your book would be helping other people as well with what problems they might have in their organization. So how have organization cultures changed over the years, and how has it especially changed now since the coronavirus outbreak? What do you think about it?
Well, if we look at Corona specifically, so my organization is already 100% remote. Everyone works from home, but we have been that way since 2009. And so what I have seen, let's say since 2009 up till, let's say, the end of 2019, over those 10 years is a more acceptance of remote work. We're seeing companies doing it a bit more, accepting it a bit more, accepting other companies who do it more. But in 2020, what's changed is now they were forced to do it. And so we've seen this radical change of, companies saying, oh, I get it now. I understand how it works. I understand that this can be effective. I understand that my people can not only be as effective, but in a lot of cases, I have CEOs telling me, my people are more effective. My people are getting more done. And I'm going, yeah, that's what I've been telling you for 10 years. But you weren't listening. You didn't believe me. And now they went and did it. They were forced to do it. And they went, oh, this is great. And so it's a lot of companies that are not planning on going back to normal, that are not planning, to just return pre-COVID. They're going to have some hybrid. They're going to change it. They're going to allow a lot more remote work. And we're certainly seeing, Twitter and Facebook and Slack and all these big, tech companies are already announcing that they're going to allow this at a much higher level, which is very different than if you remember back a few years when Yahoo said no more remote work and Best Buy said no more remote work, right? They went the opposite direction. And now we're seeing people saying, okay, we get it. When we were forced to do it, we had to figure out the tools. We had to be dedicated to it for our survival, as opposed to it just being some nice thing that maybe they could offer people and they didn't pay attention to it. Now they had to do it. The real shift is going to be when COVID is over and people can actually send their kids back to school, that they will get the real true benefits of remote work. Because right now they're trying to work from home and their kids are in the other room or in their office, right? And they're stuck in their house or their apartment with all of their family. And that's not easy to do. And that's hard to get work. So when we send the kids back to school and we have sort of our freedoms back and we can, go on vacation and roam the streets, I think even more productivity will come out of this, and it will be even exponentially better, because one of the best things about remote work is that time to sit and think, the quiet moment in your house to go, okay, how should I approach this project and not be constantly interrupted with things, right? And to have people bothering you.
Right. So the accidental remote work that has been put upon people,
Mm-hmm.
that has actually, opened eyes to organizations throughout right now, that, this is something that we can also adapt. This is something which is useful and productive as well. I guess we'll have to wait for that time when we can truly take advantage of the situation of remote work as
Mm-hmm.
such, to understand how it can enhance, right?
Right.
Yeah. So also you help a lot of leaders globally, right? And do businesses consulting extensively. So what, according to you, is the future of work?
Well, I mean, so I think the future is going to be a couple things. So, allowing for more of this flexibility, this remote work, this work from home. I think we will see a big shift in that. That's going to shift a lot of the ways in which companies work and they communicate, and it will change how we meet. And so I've been advocating for a long time that how we meet is really a reflection of your culture. And so this has really helped companies get better at that, at meeting the right way and not meeting sort of in ineffective ways. But the other things that I'm sort of seeing in the future of work is, will AI, will a certain amount of automation and things get to a level that it really can help us. We've been promised for I don't know how long that this new technology and these new things are going to help us have more time. They're going to save us time. They're going to make our lives easier. And yet somehow it makes it feel like we have less time, right? I have less time now that I have an iPhone than I did when I had a flip phone.
Right.
And so, we will get to these point, I think, where AI can be handling tasks, right? Remembering tasks, having corporate memory, corporate learning, it will be able to do it in a far more efficient way that we just haven't reached yet. That maybe we don't have to deal with some of this stuff. Maybe we don't have to deal with all these little tiny things that, are filling up our day. And again, getting back to allowing us to have more time to think, more time to brainstorm and to dream, and to allow us to come up with new innovative ways to handle things.
Right. So the ease of technology is actually what we are looking for, and not technology to just, bombard us with information
Right.
and just stop us from productivity. I really agree with that. And so if you can give one advice to the leaders who are transitioning to the new normal right now, what
Mhm.
would it be?
This is going to sound a little crazy, but I've been telling leaders to stop having one-on-one meetings. Um, there are times when you have to do it. Maybe it's a formal review. Maybe someone's being reprimanded, and even then, you're not usually one-on-one. You're with someone from HR or something. So, if you're not doing one of those, really really specific tasks, you should stop having one-on-one meetings with people. Because as a leader, it is terribly inefficient for you to be constantly talking to one person at a time.
Mhm.
It's also incredibly, debilitating to have to try to communicate what you want across to your team, one person at a time. So if you're trying to have more team meetings, you bring in 5 people to 7 people max and have a conversation, even if it's shorter, less conversations, but more frequently, you're going to get a lot more done. Because if you get 5 people together and you say, hey guys, where are we at on this project? Okay, let's do this thing, or let's meet about this one thing we're struggling with. You get really good communication. Everyone understands. Everyone has an opportunity to be heard. Everyone knows what exactly you wanted, right? And in 15 minutes, you've just talked to 5 people, inspired them, given them good directions, heard their complaints, right? And they're off. And now you have more time to do the things that are important. But if I had that same one, if I met with all 5 of those people, even if I met with them each for 15 minutes, I mean, that's a significant amount of more time.
Right.
And you always, when you're in one-on-one meetings, I don't know what it is, but you end up talking about all kinds of personal stuff. You start talking about all kinds of other things. And it's also an opportunity where people like to try to gossip. They like to try to say something negative about other people or something going on, or try to get you as the leader to say something negative. It's sort of can be a difficult situation because they're trying to align, they're trying to figure things out. But the problem is if you go down that path and you do gossip or you do say something negative about somebody, they inherently believe that you're saying something negative about them the next time they're not on the phone,
Mhm.
right? And so you end up finding that there's this sort of distance, right? Leaders have a hard time connecting with their people really, really deeply. And so when I stopped having one-on-ones and had only team meetings, only groups, I mean, sometimes I meet with 2 or 3 if that's the right situation, that communication went up, that trust went up, that, my employees were saying they were happier, that they felt more connected, they felt heard, they felt like, that this was a good place for them to work, right? And so, and I noticed that everything was going faster, right? We were getting projects done in advance. We were getting back to clients faster. And most importantly, people were able to predict more accurately what was the correct answer, what was the action they should take. Because if they're in a group, they're able to, quickly think about what are all the different things that people might say and come up with the best solution. So leaders should stop having one-on-ones, focus on your teams, focus on your groups, get as many people in a meeting that makes sense. 7 is the absolute max. For me, 5 is perfect. And work through your solutions in that way, and see what a difference it will make for you.
Right. Also taking into consideration this whole scenario of remote working right now, people already feel alone, right? So
Mm-hmm.
having them within a team and having a team meeting might also boost their productivity, correct?
Right. Especially if they're on video. So that's a big key, is to really, really insist on people being on video. Now, every once in a while, if somebody, we call it a no mascara day, but of course this is for anybody. This is not meant to be a gender term, but It's our funny way to say, if you want to have a no mascara day today and you just can't be on video, so if we can, maybe they have something that they just don't want to be seen. Maybe their house is a mess. I don't know, right? So we give them that permission to say every once in a while they don't want to be on video. Otherwise, they're on video all the time. And we don't care if they're not dressed up. We don't care if they haven't, done their hair all perfectly or put on makeup or whatever. I mean, that's just not how our culture works. But seeing someone's face, right? Well, if I see you smile, I'm going to smile. I'm going to feel happy. You're going to feel happy, right? That's a kind of a connection that will keep us from being lonely. And we can't get that if we all have our cameras off.
Right. We as humans, socializing is really important for us. So even looking through a screen to another human who's there right there, who understand what you are going through as well, might help you with it, right? Uh, so Chris, just to wrap up this interview, do you have any important sound bites that you would like to leave our audience with?
I just think important sound bites, but that's a good one. I don't know. I think people should really just be focusing on what they do that makes them happy, but that they're good at, right? So try to find situations in your organization and your life where you can be doing activities and jobs and outcomes that you're really good at, right? That fits your your personality and what makes you happy, and try really, really, really hard to say no and to block out and not to take on tasks that make you feel terrible, that drain you. This is a stressful time, and if you can really focus on those projects and those outcomes where you really shine, right, and you really feel great, it's a real big boost to how you're going to come out of this situation. It's a real, I see some people, they get scared and they suddenly say yes to everything, and they're afraid they might lose their job, and they start trying to do every task and do every little thing, and yet they hate half of those things and they're no good at half of those things. They're actually doing themselves a disservice, because they should be doing the things they're really good at to show the organization that they are special for these reasons, right? These certain things that they're very good at.
Right. Thank you so much for that. I really took a lot from that last answer, actually. It has been a wonderful experience for me, and I'm sure it would be for our audience as well who would watch this. Thank you so much, Chris, for joining us today and sharing your views and times with us. We will stay connected in future too, and you have a safe and healthy life ahead of you.
Thank you.